Time to crown a champion in the team competition. The Affiliate Cup is up for grabs. The 2022 NOBULL CrossFit Games inside the Veterans Memorial Coliseum here at the Alliant Energy Center. Jamie Hagia is our reporter down on the floor. Jeremy Austin, the 2009 CrossFit Games champion, Tanya Wagner. My name is Joel Godet. Coming into this, everyone expected one team to be at the top of the leaderboard. Rich Froning looking for his 10th all-time championship between team and individual competition, and his CrossFit Mayhem Freedom is in the driver's seat. Sizable lead over Oslo Navy Blue, looking to repeat as the runners-up from a year ago. CrossFit Invictus looking for their third podium in affiliate history and their first since 2019. Our description of the final event, it's Echo Worm, and it's brought to us by Game Day Ready.
Echo Worm for time. 50 and 75 calories on the Echo Bike, 50 for the ladies, 75 for the men, and then onto the worm, which we haven't seen too much of. 30 worm squats, followed by clean and jerks, followed by thrusters, then into 20 synchronized bar muscle ups in conga line fashion with all 4 team members, and a 14-minute cap for their final event.
And the recipe here for success is going to be worm communication. It's the first time we're really seeing that worm come into play where it's going to matter for the event. And it's going to get loud in here. And also, conga line plan, send your fastest first and last when they're the only ones on that bar.
10 events in the books. This is the 11th and final. We have 2 heats for it. We cut the field down after yesterday to just 20 teams. 10 in this opening heat. Nordic is a returner from last year. CrossFit Tyrannus back after they had a ticket to the games, lost to COVID in 2020. Urban Energy finished 7th last year. They are in lane 7 for this heat. Our guaranteed rate teams to watch. We talked about Tyrannus. This was a big deal for them to come back after they felt they had basically a pandemic steal a games appearance from them a couple years ago.
Very consistent over the course of the 10 events that you mentioned, Joel. 2 6th-place finishes, a 4th and an 8th, and fully deserve their spot inside this top 20.
Also looking at OBA, talk about resurrected careers. Joey Tortora, who had walked away from the sport of CrossFit mid-event during the Open back in 2020. He has the black beard in the back. Kelsey Keel back after a bobsledding trial. Chance for them to reignite that fire.
And in contrast to Tyrannus, this is a rookie team here. They had a couple tough events, but for their first time here, 4 top 10 finishes out of all the events. Not bad for them. So now is just bragging rights. Can they crack into the top 10?
14 minutes or less left of work for these teams. It is on to the Echo Bike. Each team has 2 bikes, one for the men, one for the women. 50 and 75 cals. However you'd like to split that up. Transitions up to you.
Being their last event of the competition here at the CrossFit Games, I'd be going out fairly heavy on this straight away, knowing that you've got someone who can step straight in, and whoever you're going to suffer more, if you can say suffer, on that worm, get them going first, make sure they've got enough recovery time, then your partner can come in and take over.
I agree, Jeremy, and that's it. There's a temptation here, though, to go too hard, but because they can switch and they can share the workload, just kind of manage your heart rate, kind of manage what that is, and don't go too far in the tank, because you have a lot of work ahead of you, but you can push that first person a little bit more.
Absolutely, and I think for these teams from the 11 to 20 mark for our first heat, they will be pushing for a spot in that top 10, so it's just not all cruise control for this last event. They want to really get after it.
Minute in here, you've seen a handful of transitions. How many transitions are we talking about? Is it basically splitting it in half, or you're breaking it up more?
I think it's going to depend on your capabilities on the Echo Bike. If you're someone like Khan Porter, who is really efficient and really powerful on a bike such as the Echo, they'd be looking at one change only, but it's going to depend on your capabilities. So if you're getting on and off, it's going to be fairly quick anyway, so transition time's going to be cut down.
Game Day Ready is an official sponsor of the 2022 NOBULL CrossFit Games. Scan that QR code on your screen or visit trycono.com. That's trycono.com today. Game Day Ready.
And similar to other team events, really it all depends on your male and female pairs, because it's about timing this, that you're done at the same time. So transition just so that you can keep up with each other is what's most important.
Hand in the air signifies 5 calories remaining on the bike. 1 cal left for Ashley Wozni, and here comes OBA. Open Box Athletics, the former CrossFit Supercharged in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. They're going to work with Milford, who just got in over the cut last night. They were the 20th of 20 teams to advance. They're bottom of screen.
This is the part now in this event where things can get hairy. They've all worked with the worm. They've had an opportunity to practice with this for a long time, and they get a chance to shine right here. There's a lot of temptation to hold on to that. We'll see which teams do and which team breaks strategically.
30 worm squats to open this up, then advance onto 30 worm clean and jerks, and then advance onto 30 worm thrusters, all broken up into sets of 10 as you march down the floor.
Tony Ficini from Milford, very good strategy on that first set of worm thrusters. He was at about a 45-degree angle, and he was able to communicate well with his team, although they must be in sequential file, or Indian file if you like. He had this massive 45-degree turn, and he's got that head turning now, but he had the whole body in a position where he could communicate really well with all of his other team members.
Do you put the communicator in front, in back? Who does the talking when you set up the worm?
I think it's going to depend on how loud the arena is. A lot of people in the Alliant Energy Center right now in the Coliseum, but whoever's got the loudest voice probably.
Or the first person, because that's the visual with the hand. Just depends what you've worked on, what works best for your team. But the biggest thing is just keeping this worm together and moving as a unit. The athletes that are in similar height have the best advantage to this.
That's Nordic on the left side of your screen. Milford on the right side of your screen. Opposite ends of the floor. Leading the way here on the 30 worm clean and jerks. Second time we've seen the worm in competition, and only inside the Coliseum this week.
It was a hold earlier this week. They had to hold it, and only 2 athletes could hold it at a time. They were burpeeing over it, so it wasn't doing the movements here. Like we've seen, some games have been really heavily programmed with the worm. Worm has been around forever. Back when it was a 6-person team, so nothing here that these athletes can't do.
That worm has a 100-pound section in the front, 70-pound section, 100-pound section, 70-pound section, and then of course in between the red lines you've got 6-pound spacer sections. All of that weight carried on the shoulders of these athletes for 90 reps total down the floor.
Interestingly, Emma Ferreira from Milford, second athlete in, is doing the calling for the clean and jerks. So I'm not sure what the strategy is there, but Tony Ficini at the front took the reins from the squats. Maybe they're just moving it down the chain a little.
It's Emma Ferreira. And now she'll switch, going to the back of the pack.
And we're seeing some of these transitions here because once these athletes get to the thrusters, they cannot make any changes to the order of their team. That order will remain then when they move to the bar muscle-ups.
And those bar muscle-ups are synchronized, working in pairs. Order does matter. Who you're used to, who you work out next to in training sessions.
And it usually depends on what movement they're doing as to who is in what position. So obviously you're going to see your fastest. Now there's the first little slip up with the worm.
Got to make sure when you drop the worm, you drop it cleanly. Don't give yourself any extra work trying to get it back in order. OBA center of screen. OBA still leading the way, entering in 11th place. If you can come in with a top 10 finish, that's a good year here in 2021.
You've got to think with 90 movements with the worm, you're going to be able to control that heart rate. So they're going to spike it early with that echo bi-calorie coming in, getting into a nice easy rhythm, because you can't go any faster than your slowest person. And 90 reps is going to take the majority of this time cap. Then they're going to spike it again once they do get to the bar muscle-ups.
With it being the final event, just so much excitement, so much push. there's nothing like the last event of competition as a competitor. You have given it your all. It's not just about this day. It's about the entire week. It's about the entire year, all the training. You just want to go out hard one last time. But the thing is, your body's fatigued. You've done a lot of work to this point, so sometimes resting, you're not able to pick it up as quickly as what you practiced in the offseason.
3 minutes and 32 seconds for OBA to accomplish the worm clean and jerks. The fastest time on the squats belonged to Nordic at 58 seconds. Everybody else was over a minute. OBA took 1:07. Fastest time on the bike was Milford at 2:20. And it is Milford that joins OBA now, back up from here. Final movement with the worm, it's the worm thruster.
You mentioned the last movement on the complex with the squats, clean and jerks, and now thrusters. Teams, once they do get to the thrusters, Emma Ferreira, they're just having a bit of a stumble, but they must lock these positions in, going to the conga line muscle up. So this is the point where you can change positions, and Milford have done just that with Emma Ferreira, the anchor leg of this four-person team.
Milford switched that up just before the final set on the clean and jerks. They'll take a break here. Even at 10, that little slip up by Ferreira opened the door for open box. And open box will now take advantage again. So the worm is up off the ground for OBA. Center of screen. This is overtake team density. Marco Coppola in the front, their captain.
Look at the contrast here. I just want to show the form for OBA on the left of your screen. They were keeping the worm so nice and tight, keeping everything in level. Not a lot of sag in between the segments. Milford on the right just had a little bit more sway. Makes it a little bit harder, feels a little bit heavier, having that gap.
OBA sets the time to beat here and passes just one team from the next heat. They'll finish up their games with 3 top 10 finishes in the final 4 events. Great ending for OBA.
Especially given they haven't worked together as a team all that long compared to some of the others in the field.
3 31-year-olds, and then just a youngster, Ashley Wozni, 24 years old. Walked into the gym during the open and started pushing the tempo for the older ones. Joey said, we got to keep going. She's making us look bad. She's making you look great here at the CrossFit Games. OBA is the first to the conga line bar muscle ups. Each athlete must complete 20. Joey Tortora's in a great spot. Kelsey Keel is in a great spot because they get to do 10 by themselves. Everybody else has to do all 20 synchronized with someone in front or behind them.
All part of the team strategy, and who's going to communicate, who's going to move better together. You can probably match it up with the size of the athlete as well, so the transition up and over the bar is a lot quicker. Joey doing it pretty easy on his own right now. A great turnover, and it's barely a transition to the top. The higher that falls, the easier the tricep extension at the top for Chini, getting things kicked off for Milford.
4 minutes left to go before the time cap here. These teams should be able to make it through, at least those ones that have made it to the bar muscle ups. It'll be Wozni now that coordinates with Tortora.
And Wozni's going to have to go at the speed of Tortora if he wants to make any adjustments to the strategy, to the number of sets. This is communication. They're already talking about it.
And taking their time. The last thing you want to do is hop up and have to reset while trying to work in sync. Synchronize at the top.
I'm gonna take you.
This is nice.
Nice big set. Waiting to get the okay from the judge before coming down.
Back at North Park earlier today, we saw some overhead squats. Joey mentioned that position of where they've got to synchronize. Bottom and top of that overhead squat, but only the top here. So a lot easier to synchronize these bar muscle ups in your pair.
Synchronizing the bar muscle up at the bottom would be devilish. Third place right now, CrossFit overtake Marco Coppola. Captain of this team. Took responsibility when they didn't make it a couple of years ago because of a broken hand he suffered. He said, I felt bad. If I was on the team, I could have helped get us here. They are back here in 2022.
What I like about this event here is if you're a really strong team like OBA, like Milford, and you can handle that worm, and you can smash it and get to the bar first, it's going to be how is your gymnastics, how is your synchronization with these bar muscle-ups. And it's not just 5 or 10. It's enough for each athlete to have to do 20 and synchronize that together. But just to make sure, this isn't just for the strong people.
25 bar muscle-ups for OBA on the left side of your screen. That leads the way. Every athlete has to complete 20 individually.
You mentioned Joel, easier front and back. The athletes coming through the last can get into their own groove, get into their own rhythm, not rely on their partners. So a lot tougher for positions 2 and 3.
Final pairing here for OBA. Kelsey Kiel working with Nicholas Hecht. Once Hecht is done, he's done. It's just Kiel on her own to do 10 more muscle-ups.
And my heart is so happy. Nick Hecht, I met him for the first time back in 2008 in my garage, where he and his family started CrossFit. So it is so cool to see all the hard work he's put in throughout all the years to get here with this team, doing what he's worked so hard to do, and now getting to shine. If they could take this heat,
just had a child.
What a way, he has 2. What a way to wrap up his first games.
Kelsey Kiel, 45 seconds for 10 muscle-ups.
With a little bit of fatigue under the belt as well.
Look at that one last breath to see, hey, how many can I rip out here without coming down? 30 seconds left to go for Kelsey Kiel.
Maybe a strategic break. Just give herself maybe 5 or 6 seconds reset, and then try and close this out.
Christine Middleton on the right for Milford. Milford 2 reps behind. 15 seconds. Kiel breaks again. Will someone finish here in Heat 1, Event 11 at the CrossFit Games? 5 seconds. Final 2 seconds. We do not have a finisher. It is cap +2 that sets the benchmark for our final heat of the games total.
Oh God, excited. That was so close yet so far. 2 reps. Oh.
So many places to race in this one.
But you've got to make sure you pace well enough. Maybe a little bit quicker on the worm as they get through. Ferreira, she was outstanding with communication on that worm.
It was Milford who was first off the bike, but when OBA got to the worm, they just demolished everything on the worm. They didn't even look back, took a lot of time in between, made sure they kept everything together. Looked really smooth for a rookie team. They definitely look like veterans in this event. Great communication. Milford had a little trip up there, stumbled a little on the worm, but for Milford, it was once they got to the bar muscle-ups, that's where they caught OBA, and they were able to slide in with 1 more rep. But OBA did everything they could well. Nice synchronization. It came down to the final athlete on this one.
Milford sneaks ahead by 1 rep. Cap +2, OBA in second, cap +3. We have 1 heat of the final event left at the 2022 NOBULL CrossFit Games. It's next. A year of preparation, a week of competition, and it all comes down to the next 14 minutes. Heat 2, Team Event 11, the finale here at the 2022 NOBULL CrossFit Games. CrossFit Games athlete Jamie Hagia is our reporter on the floor alongside Jeremy Austin, Tanya Wagner, the 2009 CrossFit Games champion. My name is Joel Godet. Iceland Danny threw her hat into the ring on the team side this year. The intrigue was high, but after everything, it's still Mayhem Freedom at the top of the leaderboard. Rich Froning and company trying to pick up his 10th either team or individual championship all time. It would be the 4th straight team title for Mayhem Freedom. Reykjavik and Thorisdottir, can they jump over that red line and into the podium? The final event, we see the Worm come back into play. It's Echo Worm, and it's brought to us by Game Ready.
The last test for these teams and these athletes on the floor, starting with 50 and 75 calories on the Echo Bike, 50 for the ladies and 75 for the men. Then onto the Worm, 30 worm squats, followed by clean and jerks, followed by thrusters, then into 20 synchronized bar muscle ups for each team member, conga line fashion. 14-minute time cap, and as per the previous heats, they're gonna need every second of this.
The recipe for success for this event is going to be all about communication.
We'll dive more into that in just a moment, but first let's check in with Jamie Hagia.
The Worm weighs 358 pounds with the bags going 100 pounds, 70 pounds, 100 pounds, 70 pounds with 3 6-pound bag spacers in between. We're used to seeing more of this in competition, but we've only seen this one other time, so this final event will definitely test the athletes' camaraderie and teamwork.
Jamie, thank you. Tanya, let's talk about the Worm. How does that factor into how you approach this?
It is all about communication. You have to know what you're doing, know where you're going. If there's going to be any changes, you have to communicate that loud and well. Also, there has to be a good conga line plan when you get to the bar muscle ups, synchronizing them together, but also who you send first and last matters.
Froning and friends, Mayhem Freedom in lane 5. They need to finish 13th or better in this event to clinch the championship. Oslo in lane 6. They need to finish 9th or better in this event to secure a spot on the podium. Our teams to watch here in this final heat of the final event, brought to us by Guaranteed Rate. Mayhem Freedom. Really not that much pressure on Freedom this year. It was all last year. Could anybody beat them? They were the super team of super teams, largest margin of victory in games history. They secured that. This year, they had some pressure, they had some company, they dealt with it well. Oslo Navy Blue has worn the leader's jersey twice in this competition. Took that white leader's jersey off of Mayhem for the first time in 4 years. Can they be on the podium as a European team for the second time? Invictus has been on the podium twice before, including the 2014 Affiliate Cup, the CrossFit Games champion, last on the podium in 2019. And Reykjavik, Thorisdottir, dabbling in team competition for the first time in her career, 2-time an individual champion, 29 points out of a podium spot. They'll need to smash this one, but certainly capable. Only problem, making up ground, been awfully hard to do.
Really difficult, because they've done so well, all the teams in the top 4. They've just been jostling positions apart from Mayhem, so it's very difficult once the teams get cut to 20 and the points go to 5 per place. It's always difficult to make up points.
We are underway. Final heat, final event here at the 2022 CrossFit Games. 75 cals on the Echo Bike for the men. You can change as much as you see fit, anywhere you see fit. 50 cals for the ladies, same rules apply. Change in and out as you need.
It's been an exciting competition on the team side this year. Already with a quick switch here for Mayhem.
You can see Andrea Nisler was on Taylor Williamson's shoulder immediately. Quick switches from Reykjavik as well.
Absolutely. Kant Porter, we know how powerful and strong he is on any machine. Kant Porter, new legend tattoos now flying around the crowd. One of his fans printed those up. And are we going to see a legendary performance from him to bring the Reykjavik team home? The lone Aussie in the Icelandic team.
Game Day Ready is an official sponsor of the 2022 NOBULL CrossFit Games. Scan the QR code on screen or visit trykono.com. That's trykono.com. Game Day Ready. Time cap was a factor in the opening heat. None of the first 10 teams finished. I don't imagine that will be the case here in the second. Cap +2 is the time to beat.
You need to go as fast as you can here, but minimize the damage on the Echo Bike.
Mayhem, a lot of time on every time cap that's gone through so far. 44 minutes and 36 seconds they've had, in fact, right across every event, the 10 events so far spare. How far under this time cap, we'll have to wait and see. But if the worm comes into play at all, we know Mayhem are so strong, so efficient with that implement.
Second change back, Rich Froning back on the bike. Andrea Nisler replacing Taylor Williamson. Look how at ease Tolomor Aquino is. One of the strongest athletes in all of CrossFit. Mass moves mass on the bike. 1 cal left. Nisler is done. Fournoyer is finishing the 75 cals on the men's bike.
Well, that's another factor you've got to bring into play here. You want to be finishing at exactly the same time, so you move as a 4 to the worm and cut down the transition time.
That's happening for other teams. Oslo has made it out to the worm. They are the first ones to start moving the implement center of screen. First European team to podium last year. It was Oslo and Genas who came in third. In the history of the games, we hadn't had a European podium team. We may wind up with 2, now 3 in 2 years.
And that's it for Oslo and for Invictus, for Reykjavik. They are fighting for the podium, so they know they need to get ahead. They need a first place to give themselves as many points as possible. So a way to take advantage there while Freedom was still on the bikes.
Haven't had a chance to talk about Omnia a lot, the team out of Colorado. They're on the left side of your screen. Mary Kay Dreiselker, who's in the Navy, second athlete in. Former individual qualifier at the games level. Looking to improve on a double-digit finish last year. They are in the top 10 heading into the final event.
Jamie Hagia spoke about transition of the worm with the weight difference. Once Navy Blue got off their Echo bikes and moved straight into position with that worm, they didn't mess around with the position of the worm. They went straight into a squat clean for their first repetition. That's obviously something they have communicated prior to coming in.
How good is Oslo Navy Blue on the worm? Well, they came to the States before the games to get acclimated, time zone adjustments, etc. You need to find a gym to train at. They purchased a worm with an affiliate. What? They split the cost because they said, hey, we need the implement. If you help us buy it, we'll have one here to help train once we arrive in the US.
They came to play this weekend, especially after last year's second place finish.
4 minutes in, 14-minute time cap. That did become a factor in the first heat.
All of these teams doing a really nice job keeping it together, moving as one solid unit.
Navy Blue, 2 event wins in the first 3 events. What a way to start 2022 games. Try and take it to the jams.
These teams are now on to the 30 worm clean and jerks. It was 30 worm squats, advancing every 10 repetitions. 30 worm clean and jerks, again advancing every 10 repetitions. Once they cross that yellow line, it will be 30 worm thrusters. And then we're on to the rig for the bar muscle-ups. Oslo Navy Blue leads the way, Invictus second, Mayhem Freedom third. This is what's on the line. Brought to us by Game Day Ready. Reykjavik 29 points out of a podium spot. Reykjavik's going to need to do very well, and they're going to need help to close that gap.
Communication from Reykjavik, right of screen. Tola, third athlete along the worm, calling the shots for the clean and jerk, and it's a quick, fast dump. As soon as it hits that shoulder position, they're letting it fly down to the ground. Risk of doing that is the worm moving around in your lane too much. They just had a slight adjustment then.
Well, they had big smiles on their faces, Reykjavik did, when they had this event announced earlier today, when it got to the bar muscle-up spot. So I think if they can just hold it together here, we're going to see a show when they get to the bars.
You're looking at your 1 and 2 from 21. 1 and 2.
Mayhem closing the gap. Within a rep now of Oslo Navy Blue. It was a slow start for Rich Froning. Jokingly said that as much after day 2. They had a second, a third, and a 13th place finish. Knocked him out of the leader's jersey spot. Since then, Froning and friends have not lost. It has been a CrossFit Games record, 6 consecutive event wins. Leader's jersey firmly where it's been over the course of the last 4 years.
talking about the best, you have to talk about Mayhem and Mayhem Freedom, led by Rich with that worm. They don't always have to move it the quickest initially, but their dominance and their ability to watch where they're at, know where they're at amongst the field is what they do well.
Taking a brief break, understanding where Oslo is. Mayhem finishes that final rep and is now on to the 30 worm thrusters. Four-time individual champion Rich Froning moved into team competition in 2015, won a championship again in 16, was knocked down second place by the Wasatch Brutes in 2017. And since then, Rich has been undeniable. Champion in 18, in 19, in 21, staring down the barrel of a championship in 22, and he has done it all with nearly 20 different teammates. He has never brought the same team to the CrossFit Games. You hitch your wagon to Rich Froning, you're more than likely leaving this place with a gold medal wrapped around your neck.
When you think about combinations, and teams, sporting teams spend years working on combination to ensure victory. Rich just shares that around, and he's the common denominator to ensure they do get a win each time.
He has led this community and this sport from the beginning as an individual, and when he went to the team side, he has just led anyone he has bring with him, all of his knowledge, all of his experience. You can't make that up.
Well, people are moving there to train with him, to train with his community. Success follows Rich Froning, and it just continues on.
Final 10 reps of the worm thrusters. Oslo Navy Blue, equal with Mayhem, now ahead of them by a rep, right side of your screen. There's Omnia pushing the pace as well here in this final heat. Closing in on 9 minutes, 14 minutes is the time cap. Oslo Navy Blue is done. Functional fitness is a national sport funded by the government in Norway. It has carried over. Invictus trying to lock up a spot on the podium. They would do that with a third place finish. That's where they sit at the moment.
But they're having some issues right now on that worm.
Mistakes like that can be costly, especially when podium spots are up for grabs. That is the last thing they needed, and they did that again earlier on today, North Park, with some overhead squat, no reps, which allowed Mayhem Freedom to sneak in over the line.
Rich Froning leads the conga line here. He has 10 muscle-ups all by his lonesome. He'll then advance to the red bar and have 10 synchronized muscle-ups with Andrea Nisler in the white shirt behind him.
And we said he is such a leader, and he's leading from the front. Follow me, everybody.
If this is the final time we see Rich Froning, this is the final time we see Rich Froning on a CrossFit competition floor, soak it in. It has been 12 years of dominance, 12 appearances at the CrossFit Games. He has never not finished on the podium, and he has brought a whole community along the ride with him. 4 minutes left to go.
What do you think? The person with the least amount of rest is going to be the person that gets onto the bar muscle up first. Rich Froning goes, team, I've got this covered. I'm going to bring you home.
The synchronicity is easy. Rich Froning has finished the work.
Might find out some answers to some questions very soon, though.
Tiyatumi tried to play coy.
She what?
3 minutes, 20 seconds until the time cap. 8 of the 10 teams have advanced onto the bar muscle-ups conga line. Nisler in front, jumping back and forth here with Oslo Navy Blue. Nisler is done. Samuel Poirier now at the front of the conga line. Taylor Williamson stands behind him.
No rep then from Mayhem, just getting their sequence out of whack. Got to make sure the transition is completed at the top of the movement.
But there's still a few reps ahead. You just need to keep it together.
2 more reps synchronized for Poirier and Williamson. 3 reps ahead of Navy Blue, and it is all up to Taylor
Austin holding on for her final 10 reps. She barely got a breather.
Oslo Navy Blue clinches second for the second consecutive year. And if that is the last we see of Rich Froning, it's a marvelous send-off and quite possibly a passing of the torch to the team from Norway.
Tell you what, someone is cutting some onions in this arena, and I'm not liking it. Super dad, super husband, and super athletes. Rich Froning, just absolutely outstanding.
There is no doubt. Omnia has 2 reps remaining. And there goes Alyssa Shower. Omnia secures the top 10 finish in their return to the games. And now Reykjavik still out there in 4th place. Invictus is also still out there. No one finished from the first heat, so no times there for her to come into play here. Lauren Fisher comes across. Reykjavik finishes. Annie Thorisdottir's first foray into team competition. It'll be no worse than 4th.
Was it enough, and did anybody else help them out?
Invictus still out there in 7th. Mayhem Independence could finish 5th. That would be the best finish for a single affiliate for 2 teams since 2018, when Mayhem went 1st and 3rd. Final 2 seconds tick away, and we are done at the 2022 NOBULL CrossFit Games. The question is Rich Froning? He talked about it openly in the lead-up. He's been around this game a long time. He has another medal around his neck.
All the records, just all the records that he set this week. That's 7 consecutive first place event finishes, breaking his record from last year.
They were wounded. They were in 3rd place, and then they never lost another event. Finished it out phenomenally. Mayhem Freedom carries the banner at the end of the day. And we'll go down onto the floor with Adrian Bosman.
CrossFit Games fans, once again, your affiliate cup champion, CrossFit Mayhem Freedom.
The thing that stands out about Rich Froning, and not to take anything away from his other 3 teammates, because he's not here without them. This is really a coronation of Mayhem as an affiliate, Mayhem and Freedom as a team. But about Rich Froning, the time that this man has been around in this sport, he began in a different era, when the sport was in its nascency, and has dominated through different eras as the sport has evolved, as the athletes has evolved, as the competition has evolved. He remains great.
One of the first people I actually met when I came to the games for the first time with our team in the Affiliate Cup was Rich Froning back in 2011. And he is still here on the competition floor, dominating competition.
He is the greatest of all time when it comes to our history, our sport, since 2010.
Let's go down to Jamie Hagia.
Sam, you are a CrossFit Games champion. You moved from Canada to join this team. What have you learned from this experience that you're going to take with you moving forward?
Oh, so much, honestly. That was an amazing season. I'm super grateful to be part of this team. And yeah, CrossFit Games champion now as a team, and time to go make it as an individual now.
Nice, man.
Taylor, with back-to-back championships. Last year you started out in front. This year was a little bit different story. How does this feel different than last year's championship?
I mean, everything's special, but honestly, it's just an honor to be out here with so many great competitors, great teammates. It's amazing. Yeah.
Andrea, when you got the call 2 years ago to move down and join this team, you have won back-to-back. What has this opportunity and Rich meant to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's been an incredible experience. Got to see another part of the country, which is cool, and then I got to learn a lot and, I don't know, just kind of blend with the Mayhem family.
Rich, over a decade of dominance. What is next for your competitive CrossFit career?
We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. You know, I don't want to make no decisions yet, so I want to enjoy this with these guys. All of our Mayhem athletes that competed. I just want to enjoy that. All of our support staff, my wife, my kids, all of Mayhem Nation over there. We just want to enjoy this, and we'll make some decisions in a couple weeks.
And it seemed like a great way to finish the weekend, 10 of championships, and you finished this last event on top with 7, breaking your own record of consecutive events. Where does this rank among all of your accomplishments?
I think all of them are special. You know, every year is just a different year, and the competition this year in the team division was raised so much, and we had you know, just a good push and a stressful year leading up to this, so we want to enjoy it a little bit now.
Congratulations, you guys are the 2022 NOBULL CrossFit Games champions.
I'd like to be a fly on the wall over the next couple of weeks.
Oh, decisions.
DJ Lucky Lou, I have an important announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, we would love to have you join us for our award ceremony. This is Tia Claire Toomey's final event. She's back there, she can hear you. Put your hands together for Tia Claire Toomey. And make sure you stay for your award ceremony, which will be getting kicked off here in about at 3:20. So stick around, show your love and support for all of these athletes who have competed all week long. We'll see you then, 3:20.
Event results here on event number 11 on the team side. Mayhem Freedom wins its 7th consecutive event to end the games. Didn't win one until the 5th, and then it never lost. If you poke a bear, I hope you have bear spray.
Well, I did mention it very early on. Be careful what you do. Oslo Navy Blue, they exactly what they needed to do from last year to bring it to Mayhem, to challenge them, to test them. And all that experience and all that homework that they've done, it paid off for them.
And I talked to Eivind Dalringard before competition today. It's a national sport in Norway. They train year-round for the national championships, for the world championships. All of that time, it has taken a toll, he said, but it has also gotten them to this point where they compete at this level.
And you have to think, these teams have raised themselves up to the bar set by Mayhem. All the years, Mayhem didn't have the same kind of pressure. It was a great year for competitive team competition. And so we're gonna see more of that with Oslo. We're gonna see more of that Reykjavik. These are the teams that are gonna continue now for what has been set up from Mayhem.
Invictus came in 7th in that last event. It did not matter. They hold on to that final spot on the podium, the 3rd podium in the history of the San Diego affiliate. A true affiliate team, really. Devin Kim started as a teenager. Jorge Fernandez walked in off the street. Same for Oslo Navy Blue. Just people that work out at that affiliate and train there. They joined Mayhem Freedom on the podium. And then Annie Thorisdottir just misses out on the podium in her first foray into the team competition. We'll see what the future holds there. That does it for our crew, though. For Jamie Higia, for Jeremy Austin, for Tanya Wagner, my name is Joel Cadet. It has been our absolute pleasure to have you along with us here in Madison. We still have the awards ceremony and so much more to come. Stick with us for the 2022 NOBULL CrossFit Games.
CrossFit Affiliate is a place. It could be in a park, it could be in a brick and mortar.
What they would find is a community that they can instantly bond with, great people, great coaches, people who really want to see them succeed through their hard work.
CrossFit Affiliates are owned by thousands of small business owners who are part of their communities in every different corner of the world.
It's literally the ownership are the people that are in the community. So they're people that might have started, lost 100 pounds, recognize that, hey, there are other people that need this and I want to be the providing source for that.
So the CrossFit Affiliate gives people a sense of belonging. It's that camaraderie. It might feel a little bit intimidating at first, but when you understand that everyone within those four walls wants you to do the best, it's very addictive and it's very beneficial and positive to you.
You don't get to do what you love if you're in pain. So slow, slow, smooth. Good, back to the middle. And right ear, right shoulder. We're here testing the 2022 NOBULL CrossFit Games workouts. Rusty's role is to make sure the athletes are able to perform to the best of their abilities so that we can do our part to ensure this year's test is the best that it can be.
That's great. You notice if it's one-sided, your spine is super straight, it feels like
Here at Rusty, what we do is we find things that are holding you back, things that are causing you pain, that limits your ability to not only work out really well, but to just live pain-free, do things you love to do. We find what's wrong with you, we get you out of pain, and then we show you ways to keep yourself healthy so you don't have to keep coming back to us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Beast, life was boring, and so were your sunglasses.
What makes a good coach? Well, we have the definition of effective coaching, but at the heart of great coaching, first thing is you have to care. And what we try to teach everyone coming into the level one is, regardless of the ability level of who walks into your gym, that person deserves a cue. Whether that be someone who is coming to their first CrossFit class or a games athlete like Chandler Smith. Our ability as coaches and our effectiveness is directly impacted by our ability to have someone leaving our class better and have learned something new than when they walked in the door.